a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, this is an awesome UFO video shared by Steph Kent. Looks very orby. She says it actually looks more like a Merkaba, which is an intriguing shape, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But look at this awesome capture of what looks to me like a very anomalous object. I don't think that's a bird. Or any conventional drone or anything. That looks pretty solid. Yeah, she says, this orb looks like a Merkaba. Yeah, it really, really does. Love it. Now, Peter Maxwell Slattery has famously, to my mind, put this video up as part of his movie, MultiDimensional. I highly recommend checking that out. This is what he calls a Merkaba vessel. And it was actually remote viewed by a team of remote viewers who were seeing that it was an other dimensional ship, crewed by several other dimensional beings that had come into this reality from a higher dimension. I just think that's fantastic. Pete talks a lot about Merkabas and the significance of Merkabas. In fact, I saw a post from him the other day, where he says, the Merkaba, an introduction from the Self-Mastery Intensive Workshop on June 7th, 2025 at Jaya Sanctuary with Pete. So yeah, if you are going to Australia or in Australia, may want to consider going to the Self-Mastery Intensive Workshop, where you're going to learn all about their Merkaba. Super fascinating. All right, well, to get into the UFO disclosure stuff, such as it is with the August recess here. Let's see. We have Eric Berles being interviewed by Matt Laszlo at Ask a Poll. Matt asked, you couldn't get any witnesses lined up in a skiff ahead of Congress's months-long August recess? Eric says, no, we didn't have anything lined up. Is that disappointing? Like, do you think in September we're going to see action? Yeah, I do, Burleson says. I think we're working towards having a good public hearing in September. Well, fingers crossed. Obviously, we were supposed to get a UFO hearing before now. Now, I'm trying to look at it optimistically and saying they're trying to get all their ducks in a row, trying to get all the witnesses lined up, the participants of these crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs. And indeed, that's what Eric Burleson has been saying publicly. That's exactly what they're trying to do. So fingers crossed they can actually get them to testify before Congress under oath. I think that would be fantastic. That would, could be potentially game changing. Eric has also been making the rounds on the Soul Foundation, and here's a little bit of what he had to say.
As we've been studying this issue and working, towards a level of disclosure, we have a number of goals when it comes to the UAP topic, and one of them is a hearing. I want to touch on some of the other things that we're working on as well, because we fully believe that we're probably not going to be able to reveal a smoking gun at a hearing, but we need to get to the point where that information is released, which is why we are sponsoring. I'm going to be sponsoring language that Senator Rounds is also sponsoring in the Senate that requires disclosure. We're working with David Grush on that language, and so it will basically require the agencies, especially the White House, to have to release any and all information that after a certain period of time. That's probably the number one goal. Outside of that, we want to protect whistleblowers, and so there's language that I think that we all support. Tim Burchett has got some language that provides protection for whistleblowers, because a lot of these individuals, their life is completely upset. They lose their benefits, they lose their pension, their health care benefits, and they lose their job. And we don't want to make patriots who take the bold step to have to sound the truth to the American people to have to suffer like that.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that he's working in whistleblower protections and greater transparency. He says the White House will have to pony up with the sweet UFO disclosure at some point. Why not now? But I think he needs to talk to Jeremy Corbell, who's been naming addresses of where this stuff is kept.
Foremost is Senator Rounds should ask to see Lockheed's Plant B6 complex in Burbank, California.
Yeah, and he gives addresses for these places. He names 2 locations, and he actually gives their addresses.
2300 Empire Avenue.
And I'm pausing here. It's funny, but also because there's music playing.
And then I would like them, maybe he should go ask to see Northrop Grumman's Plant 42 in Palmdale, which is 3520 East Avenue, M Street. I mean,
all right, well, there's a couple of places that likely have some juicy stuff, some ARVs, UFOs, man-made craft or, man-developed craft that are anomalous and exotic. Or maybe that's just where they reverse engineer genuinely ET vehicles. Either way, I would love to see either one of those places exposed, and the public should know what the hell is there. Will Congress ever be able to get there? Even if they had subpoena power and, the full authority that they might be able to get, would they be able to get that? Or would they then have to refer that out to somebody to raid those facilities? We'll see what is possible. I do have hope for the UFO hearings, especially if these direct participants can come forward with evidence, with photos and videos, things that can be vetted. Videos of alien bodies or hell, live aliens. Military people running around in their own UFOs. We know that evidence must exist. So it is theoretically possible that we could see that, but I'm not placing a lot of faith in that. I'm not holding my breath on that one. Jeremy's also talked about firsthand whistleblowers that he and George have access to.
I've said on the news that I've got 3 firsthand whistleblowers. And that's just 3 out of the many people that we've talked with. But these are 3 we've actually already filmed with. And some of them are not known to even in small circles. So we are going to report on their accounts. We're going to do that. But I think that Congress has an opportunity right now. And Representative Luna, Representative Berles have been very open and public about this over the last, couple months. And I think it's appropriate for me to say that we have provided those individuals for pre-vetting and have walked through the entirety of their exposures to information regarding UAP, and that numerous of these individuals have close proximity, right? Firsthand close proximity to operational UAP in their military role and capacity. I've said on the news that I've got 3 first in the news.
Yeah, there you go. Firsthand participants and witnesses that Jeremy has, introduced to Congress. Will we ever get to see any of these guys come forward? Well, time will tell. But hey, let's try to be cautiously optimistic. Wheels are turning now more than they ever have in Washington, D.C. It's so easy to be discouraged, but we have more Congress people actually engaged in this topic, trying to push things forward. It's kind of like rolling that big boulder up the hill. But hey, there is a summit to that hill, right? It is theoretically possible that we could get there, and we're never going to get there if we don't push. So let's keep on pushing and encouraging these people to do the right thing, because obviously it is the right thing. Meanwhile, a plant wielding a machete. Artist David Bowen created an extraordinary project in which he gave a live plant control using its own bioelectrical signals. Okay, all right, I'll bite. All right, plant with a machete. Its own bioelectrical signals, firing and wielding a machete. Okay, they're arming plants now, guys. I don't know. I'm worried. We've got robots going berserk, and now we're arming the plants. I am concerned. That's an interesting project. I don't know how that occurred to him, but that is a fun one, I guess. Meanwhile, we have an interesting post from James Hotchkins talking about how people's opinions on UFOs and the paranormal have changed over the years. He says it's easy to get comfortable in our tiny corners of the internet and assume that our beliefs around psi and UAPs are more accepted than they are. Having a community is important, but most of us also understand we are speaking to a small audience. A July 2021 Gallup poll found 41% of Americans believe some UFOs are alien spacecraft, and up 8% from 33% in 2019. So we are actually making progress, and a lot of us think that we're never going to get UFO disclosure until enough of the citizenry is on board with this. So it's really encouraging that the needle is moving there. This increase aligns with widespread media attention and declassified reports, lending UAPs an air of credibility. So yeah, keep those whistleblowers coming. Even again, if it seems like we're rolling a mountain or rolling a boulder uphill, it is actually getting up that hill and having an impact. An 8% increase in 2 years is progress. Indeed, it is. Comparing beliefs in UAPs to the paranormal. A recent poll found Americans to be more skeptical of the paranormal, with the highest belief, 37%, in psychic healing. Ghost only warranted 34%, and astrology 14%. More concerning, these numbers have remained stagnant or slightly declined since a similar 2005 poll. Yeah, that is concerning. I agree with James. I would hope that as UFO awareness spreads, so does awareness of the metaphysical, spiritual, consciousness related aspects of all of this, which is inextricably tied up in a lot of UFO behavior and activity. So, one leads to another. That's how my own research and even experience has gone. All of my research led from UFOs to the spiritual, and then in my own experiences, it led in the other direction, from the spiritual to UFOs, which is interesting. But yeah, I've had obviously experience with Reiki and healing, as James says, experience with ghosts. I don't know if I've had much experience with astrology, although I know people that are really into that. And I used to kind of chuckle and roll my eyes at that until they had me do one of those detailed astrology charts. It's like 20 pages long, and it goes like into incredible detail. And I was shocked by how accurate it was. So, I don't roll my eyes anymore. I don't know enough about it. But maybe there is something there. However, if astrology is legit, then that has huge implications for the shape of the universe. Stars aren't random. They mean something. It's all placed there for a reason, or all related to each other for a reason, if that is real. So the implications for astrology being real have a lot to do with the shape of the reality that we are in. So crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. Oh, meanwhile, this is kind of fun. A lot of people were having a heart attack thinking the White House was going to drop proof of aliens because of this post from Maxwell Alejandro Frost. But it was a joke. He was replying to Quiver Quantitative, who says, breaking, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that the DOJ told Donald Trump in May that his name is in the Epstein files. And the joke, of course, is that as a distraction, the White House is about to drop proof of aliens. Well, hey, however it comes out, let it come out. But it was a joke. It was a joke. But what's not a joke is that the squirrels are turning carnivorous. What? Jenny says, bruh, this is nuts. California squirrels are turning carnivorous. Caught on camera eating voles. Chasing, killing, and eating them. What? Okay, I know it's not UFO related, but what? Squirrels becoming carnivorous? This is crazy. So I had to ask Rock about it. The post highlights a 2024 study from the UC Davis and UW Eau Claire, published in the Journal of Ethology, documenting California ground squirrels hunting and eating voles. a behavior previously unseen on such a scale, with 42% of 74 observed interactions involving active predation between June and July 2024. So yeah, we're arming plants, and meanwhile, the squirrels are turning carnivorous. Well, stay frosty, guys. Meanwhile, turning back to some UFO-related news from David Haith, who is breaking down this information about Steve Mera. David says parapsychologist Steve Mera, who, with his team, claimed to have established communication with NHI, says the phenomenon uses trick tactics to upset research. It will make equipment disappear, cause illness, and actually send the experimenters to the wrong location. Interesting. You get some of that stuff at Skinwalker Ranch and other places. But to get results, Steve's team have realized NHI is ego-driven and thrives on praise and worship. So ritual can be effective in getting its attention. So this is trying to explain why people use ritual to interact with some elements of the phenomenon. Interesting take. Steve says in this podcast that in the UFO movement, the love and light people get a voice. It's us that don't get it. All right, well, Steve's got a voice, and now he's giving his opinion on all of this. He says, we've got to claw our way fighting to the top to try to get a voice out. He adds, the phenomena is giving a voice and all the opportunities to somebody, and nobody who wants to talk about love and light, and they're here to save Earth and all of us. Steve argues the phenomenon uses religions to elicit worship, and in India, it has created hundreds of gods that are worshipped. All right, well, an interesting take from Steve Mera. Let me know what you think about all of that in the comments below. Meanwhile, is this a ghost car caught on camera? Look at that car where the arrow is pointing. If you missed it, I'll go back so you can see that. All right, right around there. You can see that car going around the corner. Right there. Okay. All right, and now as the motorcycle guy is going around that corner, there's no car. Well, wait, you think he's probably just gone around that bend, right? It's all an optical illusion. Well, check this out. This is the rear view. And doesn't seem to have gone there. So, ghost car. Yeah, this is sent to me by Tim Clark. Thank you, Tim. This was a fun one. Let me know if you guys think a ghost car was caught on camera. Last but not least, Arctic wolf pups howling with their parents. All right, Baxter, my cat, is looking all around. He's like, what the hell? What the hell, Pops? All right, let me know what you think about these awesome wolf pups and everything else covered today in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, grab a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. Become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really do appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.